Hello, my beautiful rock stars. It's your girl, Rocqi, your revolutionary hippie from LifeIsRocqi. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And if you couldn't tell by the quality, I got a new phone. Hey, look at the crystal clearness. It's so beautiful. And then the benefit of having my old phone is I can still hold this and look stuff up. But anyways, on another episode of my polyamorous journey, we're going to be talking about the stigmatization, ostracization, discrimination of polyamory and ethical non-monogamy, because currently monogamy is the guide on morality. Let's get into it, shall we? So, Google says moral is defined as concerned with the principles of right and wrong behavior and the goodness or badness of human character. It is holding or manifesting high principles for proper conduct. So that was the adjective. The noun is a lesson, especially one concerning what is right or prudent, that can be derived from a story, a piece of information, or an experience. A person's standards of behavior or beliefs concerning what is and is not acceptable for them to do. So, again, monogamy is seen as what is moral. It's the right thing to do, so they say. Now, I will preface all of this with, I'm not a Christian. And that is where primarily a lot of people are, getting their beliefs from. So there's that part. I'm also sex positive. I was sex positive before the term sex positive was even in mainstream awareness. So let's just look up sex positive real quick. Sex positivity is a social and philosophical movement that aims to change cultural attitudes and norms around sexuality. It's based on the idea that sex is normal and a healthy part of life, and that people shouldn't be ashamed of their consensual sexual practices or personal choices. Sex positive people generally have a positive attitude about sex, respect others' sexual preferences, and advocate for tolerance and acceptance of everyone's sexual choices. They may also emphasize openness, non-judgmental attitudes, and freedom and liberation about sexuality and sexual expression. So, yeah, that was me back in high school. Okay, I identified as a sexually liberated woman back then. And now, mind you, I graduated high school in 2010. Okay, it is now 2024, over 14 years ago. Okay. So yeah, I was back then. And you know what happened? My first stipulation with having my first sexual experience, I said I wanted to be in a relationship. I ideally wanted to be in love, and I wanted to feel safe and comfortable, with my body, being with this other person, naked, all that other stuff. And all of those were met. Now, by the time I got to my second boyfriend and having sex with him, I was like, sex feels good. Why am I limiting myself to relationships? Like, what is the reason behind this? And I realized the reason was other people saying what I should and should not be doing. And I was like, if I'm consenting and he's consenting, who got the problem with it? Somebody who's not involved in the experience? Why does their opinion matter? Why should their voice be heard? Now, mind you, this was, I think I was 16 at the time. Might have been 17 at that point. But yeah, I was questioning this at that age. And then I said, F it. I don't need to be in a relationship to enjoy sex. I enjoy sex. It's pleasurable. So that led into my sexually non-monogamous experiences. Continuing into college, when it really didn't give a flying fuck about other people's opinions, because they had something in college called the Walk of Shame. Now, mind you, this Walk of Shame was from the apartments back to the dorms, and it was usually by women in the morning after a sexual experience. And this was before I was living in those apartments, and I was, going back to my dorm, and I was like, again, why is this bad? Why should I be ashamed of this? I just had a great sexual experience with someone who I had great sexual chemistry with. We both consented. It was an enjoyable experience amongst both parties. Why is this shameful? And then I also had boyfriends and stuff. So, I mean, I understand people who are like outside of relationships, even though relationships barely take place nowadays. It's all situationships. But yeah, I was like, what is shameful about this? I don't get it. Okay. So that is the background I'm bringing to you. All right. Where I was like, F these norms. Okay. And F shaming specifically the sexual liberation of women. F that entirely. And that body count. It doesn't matter. Okay. If I can birth a whole human out this body, best believe your eggplant don't matter. Okay. Anyway. So back to this outrageous idea that monogamy is what's right. So just to remind you all that majority of the species on Earth are non-monogamous. Okay. Now, sure, everyone wants to point to the lions being polygynous, of having the one or a couple male lions and they're having the pride of lionesses, right? However, that's only one case. That and like apes. They have a dominant male and then a bunch of females as well. But majority of the species, they're not even in like social communities. They just meet up, mate, and go on about their business. Okay, so take elephants. Elephants and orcas. Those are and dolphins. Two of my favorite like animal families. And they're led by a matriarch, an elder female, and it's a bunch of females and they're young. And then every so often they encounter a male in order to mate. But the male is not with the females. Okay. So that's that aspect, the matriarchal families. And then you have majority of species that are just out on their own. Take cheetahs. Cheetah females are just out on their own. They have their young and then they go on about their business. Now wolves, I would say they stay with their life mate, until demise, and then they may move on to create a new pack. But yeah, but all that to say, non-monogamy is very common in the animal world, right? And humans are animals as much as we try to deny it. We still got that amygdala. All right. Which is the emotional brain, the first brain, the reptile brain. It's what's in control of our survival, okay? And it's what we share with other species. But anyways, so yeah. It's nothing new, all right? But let's take humanity, for instance. One, during the times of hunter and gathering, it is said that non-monogamy was a thing. It was only until agriculture where property rights became more of concern, especially passing down property. That's when monogamy became more of a societal construct, especially when we started getting away from monarchies. Because if you had, land that you wanted to pass down, that's fine. But when everybody gets a piece of land, and the resources aren't monopolized, basically. So if there are equal resources, you're less individualized. Although, because I'm thinking about like when people came to America versus like the feudal system and stuff like that. But I don't know. Agriculture was the game changer as far as monogamy becoming more of a thing. However, look at history. Apparently humans have a problem with monogamy. Look at the just historical norm of infidelity, okay? And it's not just amongst males, females too. So it's just, yeah. None of this is natural to us. Some people are monogamous by nature, but just overall as a species and amongst the variety of species on Earth, non-monogamy is what's the norm. All that to say, it might have been agriculture that was the game changer, but the spread of Christianity and a colonized aspect is definitely what added the shame aspects of non-monogamy, because that's when it's like, you're wrong, I'm right. You need to follow what I'm doing. And that's just one of the reasons why I don't subscribe to Christianity. But But yeah, so outside of Christianity, like, why is there shame attached to non-monogamy? Why is that the wrong thing to do? The only other aspect that they can consider is sexual health. Prior to modern era, it was like a big issue as far as sexually transmitted infections. Like, you could die, so I understand the concern. However, we are not in those day and ages. We have testing, which you should be getting tested prior to any new partner and sharing your test results with each other. Then you should also be getting tested regularly. Every 3 months is ideal, but if you're going to do 6 months to annually, that's cool too, but get tested, okay? And then barrier use, we have that now. We also have like the HPV shot and stuff like that. So we've developed treatments for sexually transmitted infections and stuff like that. So we're not back in the day. And we've even progressed with HIV and AIDS. Like, they have the PrEP medication where if your partner's infected, it like kind of prohibits you from catching it, from it transmitting. So we're not in the era, okay, of where this is like, oh my God, you could die, like this isn't that era. So let's remove the shame from it, because there's not a reason to be. We can be safe, and that's we can be consensual. Like, again, why is monogamy what's right? Like, why is monogamy what's right? When people struggle with it historically, when it's not natural amongst majority of the species on Earth, when it's not even, like, not only is it's new in humanity, so to speak, agricultural times. So the hunter and gathering, which existed far longer than the agricultural period, and where we are now with, so it was like agriculture, industrialization, and now we're in the information age, tech age. But yeah, all of this is new, okay? So hunter-gathering was like the most prominent time period in human existence. So all that to say, like, why is monogamy what's right? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, because that idea is what leads to the discrimination of polyamorous people and ethically non-monogamous people. Like, we don't have legal protections, which, shout out to 3 cities in Massachusetts. I believe it's Cambridge, Somerville, and Arlington, as well as Oakland and Berkeley, California, who just, we all pass protective rights for polyamorous people and families. But yeah, so that means we can't be legally discriminated against. But yeah, so why discriminate against people who are different than you? Why is it shameful to be different than you? We're practicing consent. Why does your opinion matter? And like, polyamory centers intimate relationships that may or may not include a romantic aspect, that may or may not include sex. But even if it was just sex, what is the problem? Why do you have a problem with other people having sexual experiences? And I realized all this. I was watching You, Me, and Her, which that show is hilarious. It's so unhealthy, but especially for 2 people that have doctorates in psychology. What up? Oh my goodness. But yeah, I was watching that, and I was just like, I have significantly normalized polyamory, and I'm very sex positive, because I'm like, why are these people freaking out about 3 people being in love and having a relationship? Like, I don't, what's the problem? Why is it so scary? The kids? Like, why do you think being an adult and having a sexual life just like transcends parenting roles? Like, why do you think people are gonna have an orgy in front of kids? Like, what do you think? Just parenting just goes out the window and all common sense goes to? Like, what? Why do you think that? Because there's a lack of representation? Maybe. To realize, oh, these people are humans, adults, parents, just like you and me. Like, and mind you, I am a wife and a mother. So yeah, I don't get it. Help me understand. Because just like single parents, you are hesitant about who you are introducing to your children. And sex is behind closed doors. The heck? And oftentimes when the kids go to sleep. Like, I don't know. But yeah, let me know your thoughts, because I'm at a loss. And that's the only two reasons why I can see why monogamy has been the guide of morality. It's because of Christianity and sexual health. But sexual health is, again, not as much as an issue as it was before. And then there are more non-religious people than ever before. So, again, why is monogamy what's right and non-monogamy what's wrong? Because it's different. It's actually not. Again, historically, it's not. Globally, it's not. Even today, like, it's still not. The reason side chicks, sneaky links, like all of that is normalized is because it's happening. Now, I will say, be ethical and consensual about your non-monogamy. That's another reason why the shame could be there, because you're not upfront about it. You're not open, honest, and transparent about it. So be about it. And then maybe we can get rid of this shame. Because if everyone's consenting, then what the problem is? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, take care of you. Light and love. Oh, check out my other videos too. My polyamorous journey, all right?